What do I need to learn to become a photographer? How's it going? My name is Johnnie Izquierdo. I'm a professional photographer and I specialize in commercial work, live action, and photojournalism. I've been lucky and blessed enough to travel the world to photograph some of the world's most prestigious brands, projects, and athletes. So why do this YouTube channel? My main goal here is to be educational and inspirational and help the next generation, the next wave of creatives aspire to follow their dreams and be the best version they could be. In layman's terms, I remember when I got into photography, I didn't know where to start and I went right to YouTube. With that being said, we're going to start with our first most important part of photography is understanding exposure. So for all my photographers out there, you don't know where to start. You know you have an interest in taking images. You know you like taking images. You know you like the way images look. You maybe want to be a photographer, but you're unsure yet, then we're on the right path. We're going to talk about the ISO, the aperture, and the shutter speed. Think of these things as a triangle. When one works, the other has to work with it as well, so it can always end up being in the triangle. First things first. The ISO controls the camera's sensor sensitivity to light. In layman's terms, the higher the ISO, the better you can shoot in low light or the dark. So you raise that number of your ISO, the brighter the image will look in the back of your screen if you're shooting during the day or if you're shooting at night. It allows you to shoot in low light. But be conscious, you don't want to go too high on your ISO because that will lead to grainy images. Secondly is the shutter speed. The shutter speed controls how long the camera's shutter remains open to allow light in. In layman's terms, the slower your shutter, the more light will be allowed in. The quicker your shutter, the less light will be allowed in. So a quicker shutter will allow you to freeze the images. Now, if you want to introduce motion, right, or allow more light in, then you would slow down your shutter speed. Here are some examples. Lastly, but not least, is the aperture or the f-stop. The aperture determines how much light will be allowed into the camera by controlling the size of the lens opening. Again, let's break that down. The wider the aperture, the lower the f number. So for example, f2.8 or f4.0, it lets in more light. Another example of this, right? The wider the aperture, again, f2.8, that's where you really get that beautiful, blurry, bokeh fall off on the images. Or if you want an image where the background is sharp, you're going to put your aperture higher or you're going to close it down. At f11 and you take a photo of someone, you'll see more of the background intact. Understanding exposure is such a key piece to understanding photography. This directly affects the final image and the output that you want to get. Remember that triangle, the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. So if you have any questions, please subscribe, share with your friends, and I'm happy to help. And we'll come back with another tidbits, lessons, and advice. Appreciate you guys. Again, my name is Johnnie Izquierdo. If you want to tap into me more on IG, at johnny.izquierdo.com. Peace.